Love is God. Live in love. Live in love. Live in love.
Sai Ram, my friends. Welcome to O My Sai. I came to Swami in 1974 in the hope of being able to be cured of a speech problem which I had for many years since I was a youngster. And it was getting rather worse. And there didn't seem to be any cure around in the allopathic or any other department. Psychology was a way, but there was no access to it. So some of my friends who had already been to see Baba, they asked me if I would like to join them. And I wanted to join them, and I thought to myself, maybe because I'd heard about Swami's cures, physical ailments, etc., and whatnot. So I thought maybe he would be able to cure me because I had this thought that he's able to cure bodily ailments, body diseases, etc. So I thought, well, the mind is also in the body, and it was more of a psychological problem that I had, not an organic problem. And so I reasoned with myself, and I thought I would like to see him. So I asked my mom and dad for the money, and I'd like to go, and they didn't have very much. So they said, sorry, I don't think you can go. And I said, oh, okay. And then finally, within a day or so, they seemed to think they could help me out. So they said, you can have the money. So I left with my friends from my school. And it was... with some hope. But when I reached the ashram, I didn't know what to do. But I came for a cure for my problem. I didn't come for any other form of enlightenment or divine knowledge or divine peace or moksha. I just wanted this thing to be cured and to be on my way. Swami, at some stage after a few weeks, he called me and told me, and I told him what the problem was, and he said, "Janta hai, and I'll help you, and it will be on." So, and then he reassured me, and he was very kind, and he also told me what were the wrong things I was doing, the company I was also keeping, some of the friends, etc. And anyway, and I was hoping that it would be cured like antibiotics do a cure in about 24 or 48 hours. So I asked Swami, I said, when will it be cured, Swami? And when? So he was very, how can I say, very super intelligent, and he knew that I needed to have a proper answer. So he said, jaldi se jaldi, which means as soon as possible. So I assumed that would be in about 24 to 36 to about 48 hours, maybe a few days more. But it took about 30 years, but that is not the point. The point is that I left extremely gratified, extremely peaceful, and Swami showered his grace and assured me of his love and the protection. And I didn't understand it too well then, but I was to understand it later. And I went back a very, very happy, satisfied human being who was now the problem didn't seem to be there. It went in the background. So I was intending to meet Swami again in the ashram in the next year, in 1975, but I couldn't go. And Swami came instead earlier on in March or April. And I was there for darshan and the aarti and the morning, whatever bhajans happened and the Nagar Sankirtans, and he was there for the aarti. And one day in the Talkatora Gardens in Delhi, which is a huge garden where about 3,000 people were there at least, and they were singing bhajans, and Swami came, and we were all in some enclosures singing. And as Swami seemed to come in our lane, I saw him spot me, and his eyes narrowed, and he was waving his hand, and then he began to talk, and I couldn't hear a thing because the bhajans were on. And as he came nearer and nearer, I could understand a little bit of the voice. And then finally, when he was like 6 feet away from me, as he was passing and still talking to me, I heard him say, "How are you? How are you? How's your talk? How's your talk?" So I was immensely overwhelmed. And with the presence and the fact that he was attending to me had the effect of making me very highly emotional. And I remember I had the tears in my eyes, and I was really puzzled. But it happened so fast and so very quickly. And I felt an amazing feeling about the presence and the fact that he remembered what my problem was. He must have met about 5,000 people or more since my meeting with him, which was very brief, about 5 minutes or less. So I was extremely overwhelmed with a sense of fullness of grace and goodness, and the assurance that Swami knew. And he was working on me, obviously. Otherwise, I guess he would not have reminded me. He would have avoided me, I guess. So that feeling was amazing, and I felt extremely blessed. And I felt filled with grace and joy and all those good things one can speak about on that trip. Then after that, I went in 1976 because I'd had a sort of a traumatic experience in Delhi where my sister was involved, and fortunately nothing happened. There was an attempt to attack her and me or whatever, but we got lucky and nothing happened. So my sister stayed at my auntie's house, and my parents were out of India, so they were not around. I was very young. I was about 19. And I was very, very, very disturbed by that incident, by that attack. Nothing happened. I must repeat again, but I was very disturbed, and I was in despair, and I didn't know what to do. So there was a dear friend of mine who was my neighbor. Surinder was his name, and he was he had seen Swami some 8 years earlier and watched him bless somebody with the vibhuti and stuff, and he had high regard for Swami. And when he found out that I had lived there for a whole month or more, we used to talk about him and to walk and also attend the satsang. So he suddenly wanted to go to Swami in February, a month and a half before the examinations, my final examinations. I said, "No, I can't come. I don't have the money, and I don't have the time. I have to study for my examinations, which are around the corner." So he insisted, and I still said, "No, no, no." And then he said, "Okay, look, I'll pay the money for you. I'll pay your booking." I said, "But still, I don't want to go because my exams are around the corner. I have to study. I have to study." So he said, "Okay, look, we'll just go for 2 days and come back on the third day. I mean, head back on the third day, which would mean it would actually take about 6 days. We were going by train." And I thought to myself, okay, what do I do? And then I thought, okay, let's do it. So we booked our return before leaving. So we had a return journey thing. So we were only going to spend 2 days in Puttaparthi, literally. And we went. So we reached there after 2 days through the long journey in 1976, February. And we obviously missed the morning darshan. And then in the afternoon darshan, Swami came and he called me for an interview. And I was like, okay, that's very nice. And I was like, I felt a lot of hope, and and then he talked to me, and he didn't mention the incident which had deeply actually disturbed me and my sister. And he said something about the locket he had given me earlier, and he said, tomorrow I will give you another locket. So I thought, great. And he said, I will call your friend too in the morning. So I said, okay. So I came back, and I told him, Swami is going to call you tomorrow. And he was like, really? Did he say that? He was amazed. And I said, yes, he told me. So, anyway, so the next morning, Swami is walking down the darshan, and my friend was unsure about what will happen if he calls me. Should he also go or not? So he was in a bit of a doubt. And he said, if Swami calls only you, then you go, okay? I'll just stay put. He was strangely afraid. So anyway, so Swami was walking down, and he seemed to know what was going on with my friend. So as he walked through, he said, Suresh kidhar hai? Jao tum dono. Literally, he took his name, and lo and behold, we were walking to the interview room. So when we were in the interview room, about 8 of us or more, Swami, suddenly as he was about to take me inside the interview room, he said, tumhara locket. I had forgotten that he had told me, I will make you another locket. I'd completely forgotten. And he materialized a locket for me, which I still have here, in February 1970. So it's gone glossed over a bit. So all the details were there. His eyelid, his eyes, and the nose, and everything was there. So that was about 45 years ago. Still there. So and then he told me, don't worry, I'm with you, and and he hugged me, and he reassured me, and I felt great, and he also was a great help to my friend. And then when we came out, I didn't know how great a blessing it was at that moment. I mean, I was feeling very good, but I didn't know how great the blessing was. And he told us in front of everyone. And he asked me in the interview at the end, like, he asked me, Kab jata hai? When are you going? And I said, Swami, tomorrow. He said, Kal jata, tomorrow. And he looked shocked. And the truth is, I was thinking, like, but he knows. That's why he has called us, because we were just there for 2 days. And he's acting like he's really surprised. So I said, well, Swami, my examinations and all. And he said in Hindi, like, what exam and all? You don't study and all that. No, nothing. All pass examination, all pass. In Hindi, he said, sab pass. And I didn't hear that. My friend outside heard him say that to me. He heard him rebuke me that I don't study, etc., which I don't remember very well. Really. Anyway, we came out, and he told us, looking at us, to the other people around as well, he said, तुम दोनों बहुत लकी है. बाहर लोग 3 महीने से इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं इंटरव्यू का, and you have got 2 already, as in us. So he said we were very lucky. People outside have been waiting for 3 months for an interview, and here you are. So I suddenly got it, and my friend too, and we were amazed. And so we became like sort of stars when we went out, because these people knew we had just arrived, the other people, and we had got an interview, and I'd got a locket. So they were all like, all over us, looking at us like, show us the locket. And they were so amazed. And then I realized how kind and merciful and how he had blessed us. We didn't seem to deserve it, but he had blessed us. And I was just totally overwhelmed. And I felt so good anyway. I mean, already the fact that he had called us and interacted with us, so you're interacting with divinity anyway. So there was a great amount of upsurge of bliss and joy and ananda. So, as you might have guessed, there are so many O My Sai moments which have been there in my life, and they have been very, very helpful, obviously, to me. Whenever I was in despair, I was losing hope, I was afraid, I was feeling let down, Swami always seemed to come across one way or the other through a dream or having me personally arrive here to be blessed by him. So, thank you. Sai Ram.